What was it that got you into real estate to begin with?
But the hardest thing that we all know in this business is making your phone ring, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most expensive part of it. You'd leverage the leads, and then you'd also leverage the admin to allow us to do the things that we as agents love to do the most, which is be on property in front of clients.
It's like, then okay, now how to make it stop ringing, you know?
I'm buried, I'm drowning. It's a great way to build money as a blue collar person, where you can get a leg up on life and maybe pay off some bills and have a little bit more financial freedom. I appreciate you for helping me with that goal, Mike.
We're just getting started.
You created a system here to where people can be successful day one. The true why was to impact others' lives, to be an employer, to be a good place to come and practice real estate.
How do we truly grow well?
But here, the bandwidth is so much more, and we can do so much more with our time with the way the setup is here.
Yep. Leveraging our income or the ability to make income to create more income and to get more of the freedom and time back.
That's the ultimate goal.
Golly, can't believe it's been 3 years now.
3 years, yep, January 20th.
That's crazy. So,
Great ride.
yeah. Well, and your time of when you first got into real estate, what was it that got you into real estate to begin with?
Well, that was a time of transition in my life, Jim. I was going through a divorce. I was a single father at that point. My kids were 6 and 3, I think. So I knew that I wanted to be more present in their life, sports, picking them up from school. I knew that real estate was going to afford me that flexibility at that point. So I guess I got licensed in October 2015 with Keller Williams. That's where I first met you.
Yep.
Adjacent offices.
Back in the day, I think I had more hair then too.
A little bit. But that's how I first come to meet you. Spent a year and a half at Keller Williams on a team initially, and then in 2017 made the switch to EXP. And at that point I went solo. Was solo for 3 years and some change. Had some ups and downs. Mainly, it was a big ebb and flow.
It's that really feast there. It's like feast, then it's like, oh crap, there's nothing left. Now it's the famine.
It was.
And then it's rebuilt all over again.
Because the one thing that a lot of agents don't understand is that you get caught up in chasing leads, trying to get on a property, do listing appointments, but then once you do get a sell, then you got to start working the transaction.
Yeah.
And that was causing a lot of ebb and flow in my business, because then I was concentrating on the transaction and my prospecting would go way down.
Which, I mean, like you said, it's something we see all the time. It's and not just in real estate, but across the board in any kind of sales industry. You go out, you hunt, you kill, you bring it back, and then you have to service it.
Yep.
And do all that other fun stuff, which then takes up the time, or we're not disciplined enough to take the time to be able to manage it, to be able to do that, and to continue to hunt. And it can become very overwhelming pretty quick.
And it was too, because, especially as a solo agent, I'm throwing money into Zillow, Realtor.com. People are calling you all the time trying to get you to buy the lead sources, and those are paid before you close leads.
Yeah.
So the thing that was always attractive about what you were doing here, because as a solo agent, I did multiple deals with you guys, always respected the way that you conducted your business. But the hardest thing that we all know in this business is making your phone ring, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most expensive part of it, especially if you're paying up front and not getting paid out at closing on those lead sources. So, you'd leverage the leads, and then you'd also leverage the admin to allow us to do the things that we as agents love to do the most, which is be on property in front of clients, listing appointments, and buyer appointments.
It was like back in the day when I figured out some of the things to be able to make that phone ring, and we didn't have a team. It's like, then okay, now how to make it stop ringing,
I'm buried, I'm drowning.
Yeah, and that was kind of the evolution of, which you saw coming in, probably about 2-3 years after I really started to focus on building a team and having the business to where we had that leverage. There was a lot of times that it's like there's not enough company to keep up. You got to turn it off. But because that snowball effect has started happening, and you've got the impact that you're getting to make, there's no real way to turn it off. So you got to have leverage.
You do,
one way or another.
And we as a team here, the thing that I like about it is that we're very collaborative. You've got a mix of brand new agents, people that are 4 or 5 years in, and then you got seasoned agents that have been there, 6-7 years plus. And, the thing about us, you included, is that we never have not enough time to help another agent out. As we know, there's so many nuances within a real estate transaction, whether it's commercial, whether it's raw land, or whether it's just a residential sale. Every deal is different.
Yeah.
And it's a big, huge value add to be able to just be here at the office and poke someone on the shoulder and say, hey man, can you help me out with this? And get really good knowledge of what you need to do to make that deal the best for our clients.
I think that one of the things that people struggle with just across the board is not just, not necessarily understanding how to create the opportunities and service them, but then at the same time, a lot of people aren't resourceful.
Use them, yes.
Because you could have, you could have all these tools and everything there. You could have all the fancy shiny objects, but not ever use them, and it doesn't do anything for you.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
You're not being as efficient as you possibly could be as an agent, which is twofold. You're not being efficient enough to service more clients, and then you're not being efficient enough for your own family, to make the money that you want to make in this business. So,
it's really interesting when you sit back and think about, we've had this conversation 1,000 times, but people get into real estate because they want to have flexibility and freedom in their schedule and be able to spend time with the people that they love, whether it's their kids or their husband, wife, partner, whatever. And they knock it out to have a great year. And they sell 20, 30, 40 properties, and the next year they grow their goals. They want to go do more things. They want to take their family on a different vacation, or they want to bless somebody with something. So they have to do what? They have to sell more. And it creates that the hamster wheel of rinse and repeat. But if we're going to have to go out and sell more, what do you have to give up? Time. So then we're saying yes to the more and then no to the reason why we got in it. And it's just go.
Work-life balance gets off.
Yep.
And then you burn.
Yep. Well, and really what it is that I think that, like we were talking earlier today, is that the passion about what people have when they first get into something, they forget that passion.
Oh, yeah.
Or the true reason why that they got into the business. Or maybe they said that their why was their kids or their loved ones. They didn't dig deep enough to figure out what is the why of why I'm doing this and dealing with all the drama and the stress and the pressures and everything else that's there. The chaos, yeah. But and then they get burned out, and then you get burned out, and you go through that cycle of now we've been growing, we've been going, now we're burned out, now I'm just gonna quit.
Yeah.
And throw in the towel.
And that's very typical of solo agents, because you're handling the lead prospecting, and then you're handling the transaction, and then at some point, as a solo agent, you're going to hit that ceiling to where I can't. My bandwidth is full, to where either one you have to hire an assistant or you start looking at trying to get a buyer's agent. But here, it's the bandwidth is so much more, and we can do so much more with our time with the way the setup is here.
Yep. And that was the whole reason, the reason why we do what we do is to be able to impact people's lives. And initially, in the infancy of its stage, it was nothing more than a selfish decision, because I was at that stage, it was just go, run, working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, day in, day out, burning, like one of my coaches said, burning a candle at both ends is not going to work out. And starting early and staying late isn't a long-term strategy to success.
Good recipe for a heart attack.
Yep. Well, and I went through a season where, at 36 years old, they had to send me for an emergency heart stent, came back and said, everything's great. We didn't have to do the heart stent, but it's stress. And it's like, okay, well, why are we doing this again? So, but that also goes to show that, during my infancy of growing the business and messing up a whole bunch of stuff and not necessarily being the leader that I need to be for people through that process, that I hadn't really identified what my why was.
Right.
I hadn't pulled it. I just did the superficial level of answering that question or filling out the worksheet or going to the mastermind saying, I'm doing it for my kids, I'm doing it for this. And really that was, there's truth to that, but it wasn't really the burning issue of why to make it worth dealing with all the chaos. So then that chaos created stress.
Right.
So.
But the true why was to impact others' lives, to be an employer, to be a good place to come and practice real estate. And I think you've hit it. I know it's still challenging on a day-to-day basis, but you created a system here to where people can be successful day one. We're not talking about seasoned agents. You can come in fresh after taking your test, and you can have leads and have deals within the first 30 to 60 days. And that's amazing.
One,
that's like a family or sphere.
Yeah, well, exactly. Going back to, I remember when, we first came on the team and we were talking about, because it's not just about going out and selling real estate, and, it's about, okay, what else, what other things are that we want to do? And you had said that you wanted to flip a home.
Okay.
And, we had an opportunity that came that we flipped one together, and, the stuff that we learned through that process, been able to make some money. We haven't done enough to lose money yet, because at some point in time that happens. However, looking at the other options that are there is, how do we truly grow wealth?
Sure.
How do we build things together, you and I or the team or other people that we know in the community to where we can all continue to go, but then we're leveraging our income or the ability to make income to create more income and to get more of the freedom and time back.
Sure.
'Cause that's, and that's my big,
That's the ultimate goal.
yep.
You know. And the flips, that was something that I'd had as a goal to do one, need to do another one. But it's a great way to build money as a blue collar person, somebody that doesn't come with a trust fund or anything like that, to where you can get a leg up on life and maybe pay off some bills and have a little bit more financial freedom. And I appreciate you for helping me with that goal of mine.
Well, like you said, we're just getting started with that.
That's right.
So, going back to when you were an individual agent and, going through all the chaos of that, looking at it retrospectively, what do you think, somebody that's, listening to us or watching us and they're thinking, okay, well, I'm not interested in being on a team at this point, or, maybe I had a team and it failed, or I'm getting into real estate, thinking about getting into real estate, whatever those different things are. What would you say are a couple of bullet points you give to somebody to say, these are the things that could really impact your business where you're at?
I mean, time management is always going to be the first and foremost thing that you need to get a hold of as an agent. You've got to have your day planned out every day. We can't be a Pop-Tart agent. Well, these people just waiting for my phone to call. We've got to be proactive. And that comes through prospecting every day, having that designated 1 to 2 hours every day that you work your funnel.
Yep.
So that would be my number one. Time management and prospecting go together. Secondly, education, I think, ongoing training. We're just with the NAR supplement. I mean, there's so many changes that happen in real estate that if you're not feeding yourself, you're not sharpening the iron every day, you will not be the best for your clients. So 2 would be educational and training. And that's something that we do here twice a week. We have ongoing training about things that are happening in real world right now in our real estate and in our current market that keeps our agents, I think, the sharpest of any in the area. So whenever people call Griffin Home Group, we can literally say that we are on top of the market and we're going to give you the best chance for success.
Well, and thinking about going back to education, there's a not trying to downplay, any part of education, because there's always nuggets of gold that you get from anything. But typically what we see a lot of is somebody's going to go, they're going to seek this certification, and then they're going to seek this certification because they think that's going to necessarily bring them more business.
Right.
When really you look at certifications, designations, do they help? Yeah, there's value in everything.
Sure.
However, the education that I've experienced, and probably you as well, is being in the room that you weren't invited to be in.
Yes.
How do I get into the room that I don't deserve to be in?
Right.
And getting access to the people that are succeeding at a higher level than what we're succeeding as a group, or succeeding as individuals. Getting in that room and thinking bigger.
True. I mean, we all have mentors no matter what level we're on. And if you don't continue to try to raise your level of mentor, you're going to get stuck in that one spot.
Yep.
So that's the one thing that I've learned from you is to, through going through different conventions with our firm, different type of masterminds, is that you always have something new to learn, because it's easy to get stuck in, okay, we'll sell 50 homes this year. But it's more than that. If once I get to 50, then it's going to be 75. Once I get to 75, then I want 100. So if you're not putting yourself around people that are doing it at that level, you're going to stay at the level that you're at.
Well, it's like the saying of the summation of the 5 closest people to you.
True.
If you think about the people that are the closest to you, are they elevating you? Are they keeping you where you're at? Or are they dragging you down?
Right.
And especially with building the team, one of the big struggles that I had was sitting back and thinking, or feeling rather, which feelings are real, and emotions are real, but not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm. Okay, agree with that.
So I was like, I feel like I'm on an island, because we were really the only team in the area, and the struggles and the trials that we had and the challenges that we had and the opportunities that we had, it's like, okay, well, there's nobody else for us to benchmark ourselves again. There's nobody else to be able to help challenge me. So we had to become creative to go find those people. And it's not just in business, but it's just like, okay, if I want to be, the best dad and role model I can be for my kids, okay, I need to find people that are, they are the epitome of that in a good way. They are killing it as a rock star father.
Sure.
And getting around other men that are doing it at a high level. Okay, well, how can I take something from them and bring it back and be able to bring it in to make that impact?
Yeah.
So it's all part of the game. So, what's life been since you've been at GHT?
My income level has definitely raised. Like I said, you provide the tools. It's just a matter of how hard you want to work it. And we've got people at different levels that are, we only want to do what they want to do. That, certain individual. But since I've been here, it's been a lifestyle change for me. My income's went up. I've afforded a lot more trips.
Let's say, yeah, we've traveled.
We travel a lot, which I love to do. I love experiences over things always. And we started out as a business partnership, but I love the fact that it's grown into a very, very close friendship. You're one of my closest friends. I know that if I needed something and I was in trouble, I could call you and you'd be there for me. So I appreciate that. But it's given me a renewed rejuvenation for real estate, because whenever I came to you in 2020, I was maybe thinking about getting another job. I've got a degree, going into some bullshit sales, and that wasn't where I wanted to go. And I knew that was going to take away a lot of my flexibility. So, I wanted to be a part of something big, and I knew I needed something to rejuvenate a fire in me for real estate, because I gotten really stale. And thank God I came here, man, because it really did. It got me back into the game. It got me back into my prospecting, being a hunter, and not sitting back waiting for something to happen, not being reactive, but being proactive again as a realtor.
Well, it's like, we talk a lot that we're not the easiest people to work with for whatever, but it's side of our thing, because the pressure's not the right word, the accountability. And when somebody says, this is what I want to be able to accomplish, knowing that those tools and resources are there, but then saying, okay, well, how are we going to get there? Here's how we're going to get there. Now we have to do the work.
Sure. And
knowing the things that we know, and looking back over the last several years, or even our career, a lot of that time, especially in real estate, because real estate agents are all independent contractors, right? And you can be at a company and you're either allowed to fail or succeed all to your own.
True.
And even in our environment, it's still up to the individual.
Sure.
However, we've just got those extra things that help to challenge. Help to challenge and help you to think bigger. And you know me well enough to know that I do believe in abundance. Not that we're all air driving, exotic cars and all this other stuff, but we want abundance of life.
True.
And part of that is that with that, the finances, the opportunities, everything else that comes, as long as you focus on the abundance. And a lot of environments are the environments where people think of the lack or what's missing and the excuses that hold them back. We're spending on what are the results going to be from doing this? We're focused on the results, on the end game, not on where we're at right now. Sure. We're going to declare it and speak it as it is, not as it is, but as it's going to be. Instead of focusing on where we're at right now. And when you bring people into any kind of environment like that, that makes you think bigger, and it challenges you. It creates those type of results.
And it does, and it weeds some people out, because a lot of people say they want to do big things.
Yeah.
You've got those agents that say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. We're doers, and sometimes people don't mix well with us within our group, because, if you say you're going to do something, I want to ask you every day, did you do it?
Yeah.
And accountability, I've heard before, is the biggest form of love. It's from my teachers in high school through college. The people that held me accountable were the ones that loved me and because they saw something in me. They knew that, Jacques, you could do better than what you're doing. And that's what accountability is. I see more in you than what you see. So do it.
Well, and when you're in that season, though, it sucks.
Oh, it's
because you don't see it. Because they're looking at that 50,000 foot view to say, okay, this is the opportunity that you have. This is who you need to become.
It's tunnel vision. You're right here. You're looking just straight ahead.
Yep. And it's it is kind of crazy when you sit back and think about it, that how when we're in the mix of the chaos, that we're not able to see really what that opportunity is there. And like I said, accountability is the greatest form of love. And one of my previous mentors had said to me, he said, he's like, I was created to love you, and my standards were not.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of a harsh statement.
It is.
And it comes from a place of love, saying, I was created to love you, and my standards were not, because in order to get to where I need to get and where you need to get and where we need to get, it's going to require some effort. And it's gonna be tough, it's gonna be challenging. And you're gonna have to break through limiting beliefs and break through those ceilings. And even if you're an individual person running your business, you still have to you're gonna reach that natural ceiling, and you have to take a step back to be able to break through. But having that that mindset of, okay, I've got to be able to push through, I've got to be able to make more and do more, and having that accountability partner that help you go through it.
it's the best way to grow.
Yeah.
It really is. When you're comfortable, you're not growing.
Yeah.
You're growing when you're uncomfortable, and that's a testament to what we do here. And like I said, man, the last 3 years and some change now, it's been the best 3 years of my career as a realtor, and I love it here.
It's been, I love having it here too. Hell, it's been, I remember when we first met and I was like, really, Jacques wants to talk to us. Because that was also during a season where we were all, as a team, we were getting a lot of new people. We weren't getting anybody really with an experience. Somebody that was seasoned. And, seeing you come in and not just be able to grow, but to be able to start thriving and, living a better life, creating more memories with your kids, creating, more experiences with yourself and with the people that you love, even if it is one of those weekend trips to Miami or we go to Vegas or, we freaking go downtown and just hang out for a little bit. Those moments are what we do it for.
That's right.
To be able to have the time and the flexibility to do that and be able to do that, and that I've been able to grow with you through that. So, but it's one of those things that looking back at it, if you would have come to a different season earlier on, I wasn't the person that I was in 2020. My mindset was not the same as it was in 2020. Hey, my mindset now is different than it was when we first started.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's the same thing for you, because we're always growing and evolving to challenge ourselves to think bigger, to think of more, to think of how more impact and all of that stuff. And if we're not, like you said, if you're complacent and you're not growing, you're gonna wither up and die.
You get the stone.
We can't say wither up and die because I said that the last time I talked to somebody, but nonetheless, you get the point. It's all gonna fade.
Yes.
So, cool. Anything else you want to talk about? Any other questions? No.
I think that's a blue ribbon interview.
Yeah. Have me see my baseball.
Perks and boots.
We're sending generally daily emails to us, commitments and stuff. We're doing in the very bottom of the email. It's like things you have challenges with. At the bottom of mine, I sent my this morning. At the bottom it says, and in really tight having a small man. That's the worst. This is the worst.
So that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
But we did it.
Sir.
Let's go.
Yes.